Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. A controversial wind farm off the northwest coast looks likely to go ahead despite concerns about an endangered parrot. A tribunal quashing a condition which would have seen the blades stop spinning 5 months a year, something the company says would make the project unviable.
The blades of progress spin slowly. 20 years in the making and almost 3 years since initial approval, the Robbins Island wind farm was almost blown off course by the Environmental Protection Agency last year, applying a condition that the turbines are turned off for 5 months a year.
So the project wouldn't have proceeded.
It was to protect the endangered orange-bellied parrot during its annual migration.
While they're flying around that island between their roost sites and their feeding grounds, they will be passing through this enormous field of 100 plus turbines. They are going to be at risk, on a regular basis.
An appeals tribunal this morning dismissing the condition, finding the blades pose a very low risk to the parrots.
The island itself, where the wind turbines are, is not a location that the parrots fly through. 4 of the existing Tasmanian wind farms are notionally in that migration pathway, and none of those seem to be causing any issues to the parrots.
The decision puts the $1.6 billion project on firmer ground, 900 megawatts, enough to power 400,000 homes.
Making sure that we are looking after our threatened species and also making sure that we are building the clean energy projects that we need to do, and it's not an either or.
Although it still needs to be ticked off by the Federal Environment Minister.
Robbins Island is a global test, and if the Albanese government can't protect it, it's not worth the word environmental custodians. They're failing Australia's future.
It also relies on the Northwest Transmission Line, another project with an unpredictable future.
The next hurdle is around the uncertainty that's been created by Nick Duigan and his new Northwest Transmission plan, or lack of a plan.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
The Legislative Council is set to shine a light on the workers' insurance controversy, which has dogged Tasmania's racing industry. State Labor says questions need to be answered to protect participants. The government, meanwhile, was talking up partnerships between schools and local sporting clubs.
A slam dunk for local sport. Lauderdale Primary and a local basketball club working together to overcome a growing court shortage. The school opening its gym doors, with the club netting new equipment.
This facility addresses that need. It's something that we lack a little of around Hobart and particularly the Eastern Shore.
Lauderdale is a really tight-knit community and we see ourselves as fundamental and instrumental in that.
The state government wants to see more like this, appointing 3 liaison officers across the state.
Find those linkages between the local clubs and associations, the schools who've got facilities, and to bring them together.
As one sport soars, another is once again on the back foot. After last week's revelation, some in Tasmania's racing industry might not be properly covered by workers' compensation insurance, State Labor wants the upper house to take the reins and investigate.
Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to get right into the issues, but some of the issues particularly go to who is responsible for monitoring these issues.
Committee Chair Ruth Forrest told 7 Tasmania News a short inquiry is planned to begin next Tuesday, with Tas Racing WorkSafe and the Office of Racing Integrity expected to be grilled. In a statement, Racing Minister Felix Ellis says the issue has been referred to WorkSafe by the Director of Racing. Industry leaders also looking for answers.
At some point, someone in charge has got to stand up and say this is not right. You do the right thing or you don't race.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
2 protesters have occupied a fish farm at Macquarie Harbour in a fight to conserve the Maugean skate. The Bob Brown Foundation says the farms have been scientifically confirmed to impact the species' survival in the harbour, calling for the Federal Environment Minister Tanya Plibersek to remove all farms from the area. The last Tourism Industry Council board meeting of the year has taken place in Hobart. Tourism leaders from across the country discussing environmentally friendly solutions for the industry, especially for small businesses.
Shining a light on the sustainability and the future sustainability of our industry. And I'm really happy to say that Tassie is leading the way when it comes to this, especially with our nation-leading emissions reduction program.
The group also speaking about affordable travel, the long-term impact of COVID and the future of the industry as traders prepare for a packed summer holiday season. Tasmanian learners have been given a 101 in distracted driving, playing out risky scenarios under the supervision of RACT. It's hoped to drive down the number of fatalities involving our young people.
Testing out the impacts of the big no's for drivers.
Doing things such as texting while driving, they'll have some of their peers in the back seat being distracting so they can experience what it's like to drive a car with passengers.
15 students from Glenora District School took part in the RACT's Distracted Driver course in an effort to curb the number of young driver fatalities caused by road accidents.
They can understand about distracted driving and the risks of that.
Vision impacted goggles simulating being under the influence of alcohol presented an additional challenge.
What's the first thing that you notice having them on versus not having them on?
There's like different colours of everything. All right, I didn't hit anything, so that was good, I guess. Well, I think I didn't.
Young people under the age of 25 make up just 10 to 15% of licensed drivers across Tasmania. Yet they represent 28% of serious injuries and fatalities on our roads every year. Hopefully driving towards zero in the near future.
It's that education and real life experience in a safe environment.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Almost 200 UTAS students are set to travel abroad for free through the Unigo program. The cohort will spend 3 weeks in Indonesia, Malaysia or Vietnam, but it's certainly not a holiday. There are some big projects for them to get involved in.
Reflect on questions of sustainability, climate change, the big global challenges that are facing us here in Tasmania but elsewhere in the world.
It's really beneficial to be able to learn from people who have, different sustainability projects and their culture is very different to ours.
Students head off in early December over summer break. The program is funded by UTAS and the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. An early Christmas present wrapped with a nice green bow for the team at Launceston's self-help workplace. A greenhouse already teeming with produce is the latest addition at the social enterprise, which provides locals with meaningful employment and teaches important life skills.
Really does help complement the life skills program that we've been running for a number of years. The team here are growing lots of different crops that will then be used in the kitchen inside. Today I think we saw some corn, some tomatoes, some beans, but also lots of seeds germinating, ready to go in the beds over the coming months.
The greenhouse was funded with a council grant. Blind golf is about to take off in Tasmania. Hobart's Pat Dwyer lost his vision to disease last year, but he hasn't let that keep him off the fairways. Teaming up with Golf Australia to launch an arm of the sport, helping vision impaired get into the game, starting with a come and try day at Kingston on Sunday.
We use Kingston Beach Golf Club as our home club, and we'll end up with a competition here for blind golfers on a weekly or fortnightly basis.
The health benefits, both mental and physical, are well known with golf, so it's great to offer this to more Tasmanians.
Kingston will host interstate golfers in February for a blind golf championship. It seems Christmas has been saved for Newnham man Max Jago. Last week we brought you the story about Max's fight with council over a new fee stopping him from running his annual Christmas light show. He's now been told the fee will likely be waived. The Mayor telling us it was only introduced to discourage long-term road closures.
The fees are to ensure that those roads aren't closed for longer than what they need to be. They have never been initiated to deter events and processes where community has that real sort of engagement.
The waiver still needs to be formally approved at Thursday's council meeting. Young athletes from across Australia have wrapped up 5 days of competition at the National Track and Field Championships at St Leonard's. The final day was a chance to mingle in a relaxed environment, meeting new friends with the same dream to one day make it big on the world stage.
Letting their hair down after days of gruelling competition. This year's School Sport Australia Track and Field Championships wrapping up at the Northern Athletics Centre.
It brings in all the states and territories except for Western Australia to come together to compete in the 10 to 12 year age bracket.
Over 600 athletes participated in relays, track races and field events. Among them, 60 Tasmanians, proudly representing their state on home soil, with hopes of swapping state colours for Australian ones in 9 years' time when the 2032 Olympic Games are held in Brisbane.
That's one of my dreams. I hope that this will help me build a stepping stone and how it builds me through.
At events like these, no one really sees how much hard work each person puts into what they do.
This is the first time Northern Tasmania has hosted a national level competition since 2007. Rivalries were put aside today as athletes got to know each other in a lighter setting.
It's really exciting because it's awesome to make new friends from around Australia.
I enjoy meeting other kids, I enjoy hanging out and bonding with them. It's very fun.
Today's a fun day where the teams get to interact with each other more on a social basis.
Future stars forging friendships they'll remember for a lifetime. Mark Zita, 7 Tasmania News.
A major street parade and 5 weeks of events will soon take place in Richmond as the popular village prepares to celebrate its history, people and have a big birthday for Australia's oldest bridge.
Because it is so rich, 200 years is a long time, but there's 60,000 years of engagement prior to that, lots of stories to be told.
Meanwhile, Clarence City Council is on a mission to see it last another 200 years, working on a town master plan, which the community can contribute to.
Future-proofing the village. It is to ensure that the right infrastructure is in place, particularly from a car parking perspective.
The Richmond Bicentenary Parade gets underway on Sunday, December 10.
Tasmania's under-19 men's cricketers are packing their bags for a gruelling test of the National Championships. The 14-strong squad is travelling to Albury on Wednesday for the tournament, and there won't be any time for sightseeing once they get there, playing 4 matches in just 5 days. Getting their preparation right will be critical.
So it's going to be really tough, and the conditions, I would imagine in Albury, it'd be quite hot as well. So rest, recovery is going to be key, really.
Making sure your recovery and everything like that's up to standard with what you'd have to at a professional level, so eating, sleeping.
They kick things off against the ACT on Thursday. The Tigers will need to contend with the GOAT tomorrow as Nathan Lyon returns to the Blue squad in time for a Sheffield Shield rematch at the SCG. It could put Tasmania's undefeated run and position as ladder leaders under threat. Tasmania, though, shouldn't be too worried. It's only been a week since they humiliated New South Wales with a 1-innings victory at Blunston.
Good evening. Well, our strange pre-summer weather continues. Hobart 14 degrees today, nearly 5 below the November average. Launceston 19, Devonport recorded 16 and Burnie 15. Most temperatures did sit between 1 and 5 degrees below average. Strawn and King Island 19, Flinders Island, Friendly Beaches and Bushy Park 18 degrees. Low Head and St Helens 17 and Lyawini 12. A few showers mainly over the northwest as low cloud moved right across Tasmania. Kew River located between Tulla and Waratah 7 millimetres in the 6 hours to 3. That was the best fall. A moist onshore airflow had the cloud over a large part of the southern seaboard, thick cloud and thunderstorms over southwest WA, convective cloud over the far north and northeast of Australia. Tomorrow, a ridge of high pressure maintains the cool southeasterly winds over the state. A large low pressure zone develops over the southeast part of the mainland. The south to southeasterly winds will continue and range from 10 to 15 knots over eastern waters to 25 knot easterlies over the north. They'll increase to 30 knots in the evening. So we do have a strong wind warning that's been issued for waters in the west and north from southeast Cape up and around to the top of Flinders Island. Forecast for Tuesday, Hobart 16, a cloudy day, 18 the top for Adventure Bay, cloudy for Tarraleah, 4 overnight, 17 the maximum. Launceston partly cloudy, 22. The chance of a shower for Devonport, 40% chance there, 19 the top and 21 the high for Bridport, partly cloudy. Same for Burnie, 18 the top, 20 for Strawn. Marrawar a shower, 19 degrees the maximum. St Helens cloudy and 18, 17 for Swansea, partly cloudy on Flinders Island, Whitemark, expecting 20 degrees. On Wednesday, fresh easterly winds again with a shower over the east and Flinders Island. A similar pattern on Thursday with the best weather over the west coast, and on Friday showers over the east and south as the east to southeasterly airstream continues. Partly cloudy in Perth tomorrow, showers easing from Adelaide, 25 and a shower for Melbourne. Rain over Canberra, Sydney and Brisbane. Bit of cloud over Hobart. It's just 12 at the moment, 16 in Launceston, Devonport 15 degrees. It's not just here, Kim, all around Australia. The weather's a little bit crazy. I don't think we've got fine weather statewide until around the weekend.
OK, thank you very much for the update, Murph. And that is all your news for now. We're back later with news, sport and weather updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night.